Hello everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from the campus of Braintree High School in Braintree, Massachusetts. Live coverage of today's varsity high school baseball contest between the hosting Braintree High Womps and the visiting Brookline High Warriors. Now, unfortunately, the Wi-Fi connection does not seem to be strong out here in Braintree today, and unfortunately, there's really nothing I can do about that. I have to go with my Wi-Fi hotspot or nothing else. 1 second, folks. But, sorry about that. But as I was saying, Wi-Fi not strong out here today. Could be a number of things. You know, Braintree's been a tough spot for Wi-Fi in the past. I've had my ups and downs out in this area. You know, sometimes, I guess, I don't know, it could be the sun, could be the wind, it could just be Braintree. Could be any number of things, but the point is, Wi-Fi's not looking good today. But I am recording this, so if this ends up just being a completely god-awful stream in terms of the connectivity, then I will upload a full version later on tonight. But in the meantime, we do have a game to play. Brookline hoping to bounce back after a tough 6-2 loss on the road against Weymouth on Wednesday. That, of course, coming after a big 7-5 win over Framingham on Monday. As of right now, Brookline 2-2 overall on the season. These two teams, Brookline and Braintree, faced off last year in a later season game in the middle of May. Brookline ultimately came up short, losing 5-1. So Brookline will be hoping for a better outing here. And so with that in mind, let's take a look at the lineups for the two teams coming in today. First, for the hosting Braintree High Womps. Leading off for Braintree, first off, the center DiMartino. Batting second, the left fielder, number 8, Perry Lane. Batting third, the first baseman, number 14, Jack Fitzgerald. Batting cleanup, the designated hitter, number 2, Dan Surrett. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 27, Cam Grieve. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 6, Sean O'Rourke. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 1, Tim Carney. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 5, Sam Garrity. And batting ninth, the shortstop, number 24, Max DeRoche. Not batting for Braintree, but starting on the mound for the Womps today, the pitcher, number 22, Anthony Carey. So that is the starting lineup for the hosting Braintree High Womps. And now, as Brookline continues their warm-ups in the field, let's take a look at the starting lineup for the visiting Brookline High Warriors. Leading off for Brookline today, the center fielder, number 20, Harrison Siegel. Batting second, the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. Batting third, the left fielder, number 3, Ryan Kravitz. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, number 12, Connor Jernigan. Batting fifth, and starting on the hill for Brookline today, number 17, Charlie Engelman. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 11, Nate Kessler. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 9, Nico Hart. Batting eighth, the shortstop, number 2, Owen Hoffman. And batting ninth, the designated hitter, number 8, Ben Doctoroff. Not batting, but just playing the field for Brookline today, the catcher, number 14, Avery Melton. Head coach of the Brookline High baseball team is Brendan O'Connor. So that is the lineup for Brookline today. And remember, if you are braving the bad Wi-Fi on this live stream, and you got anything you'd like to say, you want to correct me on any, the pronunciation of any names, you know, you want to just simply say go Warriors or go Womps, or you want to shout out your favorite player or anything like that, feel free to participate in the live chat. I can see our first note in the live chat already from Barbara Jo Metzger. Hello, Jesse. We'll deal with the Wi-Fi and watch it again tonight if need be. Go Warriors? Question mark. I appreciate your understanding, Barbara. I mean, it's just, you know, sometimes the Wi-Fi is just, you know, technology can be finicky, and sometimes there's just not much you can do about it. You know, maybe if I had the time to build a couple extra cell towers in the area or something, maybe that'd fix it. But I don't think I got the time or the materials or the anything resembling the expertise for that. So we're stuck with what we've got. And remember, folks, as always, if you end up enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. It is going to be spring break next week, but Brookline has a pair of morning games next week on Monday at 11 a.m. against Boston Latin School, and then on Wednesday also at 11 a.m. against Sharon High School. I'll have coverage of both those games, so be sure to stay tuned for those. Subscribing to the channel can help. But for now, as the Warriors wrap up their infield warm-ups, we will soon be getting this game underway. It is Brookline against Braintree. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Braintree High School, and you are watching Brookline High Baseball.
Oh my gosh, did he catch that? Ryan Kravitz with the acrobatics out in center.
Swing and a miss! Dialchin Erickson gets out of the jam!
He makes contact. This is into the outfield. Oh, it was a late takeoff, but it skipped past the center fielder. Doctoroff rounding third. Here he comes. Brookline wins!
Brookline still wrapping up their warm-ups. They've pulled the outfielders in. They're finished out there. So we just await the completion of infield warm-ups. And then Braintree will come out and take the field for the top of the first inning. Few interesting notes about the Brookline lineup today. First off, returning to the batting order is number 3, Ryan Kravitz. He's just been playing the field for the other 2 games this week. But now back in the batting order in the number 3 spot. So he'll be hoping to contribute something at the plate today. Also of note, Charlie Engelman, who hit third in the order against Weymouth in what was, I believe, his first start of the season. He played third base that day. It was his first start after not playing in the season opener against Newton South and coming off the bench as a relief pitcher in that marathon 11-inning win over Wellesley that took 2 days to complete. Engelman now getting his second consecutive start in the batting order and also his first start on the mound of this season. And he's now batting fifth after batting third in the order in the game at Weymouth and driving in one of Brookline's 2 runs with an RBI single in the first inning. So we'll see if he has more big swings in him for this game. Also interesting to base for the team is the designated hitter this time. Rare that you see a designated hitter batting ninth in the order, but Doctoroff is coming off a game where he recorded just the second extra base hit that the Brookline team has had so far this season, as he legged out one of the strangest doubles you'll ever see against Weymouth. I mean, he hit a good ball out to left. The problem was it was out to left, so the runner at second couldn't, or the runner coming from first to second couldn't further advance to third because the ball was in left field. But Doctoroff was running and gunning out to second anyhow, and so he ended up getting caught between the bags because his teammate was already at second. But then some savvy base running from the 2 Brookline base runners, Doctoroff and Avery Melton, as Melton saw Doctoroff caught up between the bags and took off for third, which not only allowed him to take third while the fielders were distracted trying to get Doctoroff on the rundown, but it also opened up second base for Doctoroff, and he managed to beat the throw to second, and so technically that went in the scorebook as a double. Meanwhile, Avery Melton is just playing the field today. As Melton has, I believe, batted somewhere in the order in each of Brookline's games so far, but today taking his turn just playing the field, as Brookline, rotating around their lineup, trying to figure out what works best for them in these early parts of the season. Some fun notes in the live chat from Barbara Jo Metzger. Didn't mean the question mark, meant an exclamation point. Oh no. Did I just have a I'm Ron Burgundy moment here on this live stream? I think I did. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. Thank you for that, Barbara Jo. You've given me a nice chuckle here before we start this game. So looking at the lineup for Braintree, they are returning a few players from last year's game against Brookline. Among them, Tim Carney, Charlie DiMartino, Jack Fitzgerald, Cam Grieve, and I think those are the only returners that played in last year's game against Brookline. Of course, Jack Fitzgerald had the biggest highlight of the day with a solo home run that kind of broke things open in the bottom of the 4th inning in what was a pretty close game up to that point. It was tied 1-1 as Brook had put together a strong outing in what would turn out to be his only start of the season. Of course, Hart getting a lot more pitching opportunities so far this year. But that game against Braintree kind of showed his initial potential. But now Braintree warming up in the field. Sorry, messing around with the graphics on here. Not in a way you guys can see, but like messing around with them on my own personal display on my computer screen. Warming up on the mound for Braintree, their starting pitcher Anthony Carey, one of a number of players who did not play against Brookline last year, but he's going to get the start on the mound. Due up for Brookline, it's going to be Siegel, Sawada, and Kravitz. I mentioned a few notes about the Brookline batting order. Another interesting thing of note is that Sawada and Siegel have usually hit 1 and 2 in the order, but it's been Sawada at 1 and Siegel at 2 for much of the season so far. Now a slight switch, moving Siegel to the leadoff spot and Sawada to second. You wonder if maybe the strategy is, Siegel probably the best on-base guy for Brookline so far, and he also has the team lead in stolen bases. So maybe you rely on him getting on the bags first, and then Sawada, who doesn't have quite as much pop in his bat as Siegel, but has a lot of speed and plate patience. You know, the kind of guy that might be good for laying down a sacrifice bunt and trying to leg it out. Who knows? I'm definitely not smart enough to be a baseball coach. That's why. Here in the top of the first inning, leading off for Brookline, the center fielder, number 20, Harrison Siegel. As you can see, Siegel's stats for the season so far: 4 for 13 by pitches, 3 steals, 2 runs scored, and 4 RBI. Siegel actually leads the, just the quirkiness of high school baseball. First pitch misses. That'll be ball 1. And he slices this one. This one is going to stay playable. Fitzgerald tracking it, under it, and he's got the catch for out number 1. So a pop-out starts us off here on the top of the first. Now coming to the plate for Brookline, the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. First pitch misses, ball 1. Sawada so far this season, 3 for 12, 5 walks, 3 steals, 4 runs scored. And that one catches the inside corner for strike 1. This one skips in the dirt for ball 2. And that one's going to come in high for ball 3. That one's in there for strike 2. We've got a full count here to Sawada. 1 down, base is empty here in the top of the first. Inside, ball 4. The plate patience of Keenan Sawada. Last time against Braintree, Sawada was 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored, responsible for Brookline's only score that day. Now he draws free pass here. Let's see if history can repeat. As up to the plate comes the left fielder, number 3, Ryan Kravitz. Kravitz searching for his first hit of the year here. He's 0 for 7 with 1 walk, and this is his first time at the plate this week. And he takes strike 1. I mentioned 3 stolen bases so far this season for Sawada on the bags. Braintree gonna have to keep an eye on him. Sawada taking off, and Kravitz fouls it off. And that'll be strike 2, and Sawada will have to retreat back to first. And gets a piece of it and stays alive at 0-2. Kravitz was a pinch hitter against Braintree last year and just finished the day 0 for 1. Now here's a starter hoping to help things here. Is this one low and away for ball 1? Good snag by Cam Grieve behind the plate to prevent that from turning into a wild pitch. 1-2, the count to Kravitz. And fouls that one off. And still Kravitz stays alive. And an attempted pickoff is not going to get Sawada. And reaches low, hits a grounder, tagged by Fitzgerald at first, but Sawada will advance to second. So Kravitz is able to advance the runner at least with the ground out to first. Sawada now in scoring position, and up comes the first baseman, number 12, Connor Jernigan. Carey sets, checks on Sawada. First pitch comes in low, ball 1. Jernigan so far this season 4 for 14 with a team leading 2 doubles, a walk, 2 runs scored, and 3 RBI. And he gets a swing there, but it's going to go foul. And that'll be strike 1. Last year against Braintree, Jernigan finished the day 1 for 3 with an RBI, although the RBI actually came on an RBI ground out as he drove in Sawada for Brookline's only run of the day. And he's hoping to drive in Sawada here. Sawada just takes off. Oh, but they caught him, and that's a balk. He tricked him into a balk. Keenan Sawada with the quick jump forces Carey to balk as he just completely flustered him there. Sawada now at third. And Jernigan fouls this one off, strike 2. And we've got a timeout called. So for those of you who might be confused about what happened with Sawada, he started to take off for a steal, and Carey noticed and turned around to try and catch him, but he had already started the process of his windup, and you can't turn around and try and pick off a runner when you've already started the process of your windup, because that's a balk. And so Sawada got a free pass to third as Jernigan fouls this one off to stay alive. It's a weird rule, and if you ask any baseball fan to try and perfectly explain it to you, most of them are going to have a tough time because it's one of the tougher rules to exactly explain. But it is the rule, and that's why Sawada is at third. As this one skips in the dirt, Grieve managed to block it, almost couldn't chase down the ball because Jernigan, trying to get out of the batter's box, accidentally got in his way. But either way, Sawada did not take off. Would have been very interesting if Sawada had taken off and scored on that play, given that Jernigan, intentionally or not, inhibited the catcher's pursuit of the ball. And Jernigan fouls off another one. We're seeing a lot of foul balls from Brookline here in the top of the first. Kravitz had a number of them. Now Jernigan's had a number of them. You know, Brookline's got the bat speed to put bat on ball so far against Carey's pitches, but they're not getting the right contact on it. 2-2 still the count to Jernigan. Sawada at third, 2 down here in the top of the first. And swung on and missed. Fooled him with the dropping curve there. Jernigan goes down on strikes, and we end the top of the first. Brookline gets a runner to third, but cannot bring him home. And after our first half inning, the score is still tied at 0-0. So now taking to the mound and warming up for Brookline is, disregard the number 22 on the graphic. This is number 17, Charlie Engelman. He wears number 22 for home games and number 17 for road games. It's just that we've only ever seen him in road games so far, as the 2 games he has not appeared in so far are the team's 2 home games, the one against Newton South and the one against Framingham. All 3 road games he has appeared in. So far, his pitching stats, he's made 1 relief appearance, that clutch relief outing against Wellesley last week. 4 shutout innings and 3 strikeouts to secure the win. And now he's looking to follow that up with another strong performance here today. Interestingly enough, Engelman did actually appear on the mound as a reliever against Braintree last year, but it was a very tough outing for Engelman. Didn't get an out, gave up 3 walks, gave up 1 unearned run, and I think he allowed some inherited runners to score. It was a very frustrating outing for Engelman. It was kind of just the culmination of a very frustrating season for him, where he had a lot of very tough outings with just some really bad blow-up innings. And so this outing today could be a nice chance to further the bounce back that he's already been having with that strong outing against Braintree. This could be, you know, I don't want to say redemption chance, because, You know, like these are high school kids. You know, it's not like they committed a sin when they have a bad game, but this could be a very nice, you know, very cathartic kind of bounce back game for Engelman potentially. First pitch swung on and missed for strike one. At the plate for Braintree is the center fielder, number 23, Charlie DiMartino. And this one's a chopper to third, fielded by Kessler. Kessler, long throw. They did not get him in time. That was a very close call. I will admit I thought they got him, but it's not my call. It's the official's call. And so DiMartino legs out an infield single. Now up to the plate, the left fielder, number 8, Perry Lane. He shows bunt, pops up a bunt, and it's going to bounce foul for strike one. That pitch comes in low for ball one. One and one, the count to Lane. DiMartino at first. That one's going to come in low and inside for ball two. And that one's going to miss outside for ball three. So a 3-1 count now to Lane. DiMartino takes off. Lane pops it up. DiMartino's got to backtrack. And it's dropped! It's dropped! Picked up by Hoffman, thrown to second, and they get what I guess you score as a 6-4 fielder's choice. So Brookline, in the end, does get about the expected amount of outs from a hit like that. And I mean, I don't think you score that in error because they still got the out. Very strange. This first pitch is going to be inside for ball one. At the plate now with one out and a runner on first, the first baseman, number 14, Jack Fitzgerald. This one going to miss outside, ball two. Fitzgerald, an intimidating presence for Brookline at the plate. Last year against Brookline, he finished 2 for 3 with a home run and an attempted pickoff. Checks on Lane over at first. So we know that Fitzgerald can launch this ball if he gets his bat on it just right. And he hits a liner there. That's going to be through the gap into left for a clean single. So now up the designated hitter, number 2, Dan Surrett. First pitch, and he launches it out to right. It's being tracked, and a sliding catch by Hart. Runner does tag and advance to third. Oh, they're going to check at second just to make sure he tagged up properly. That's good procedure there. But he did tag up properly, and so Lane does move to third, but Brookline does get the second out of the inning. That was almost disastrous. You could tell that was a bit of a tough track for Hart out and right. I mean, out in right field. The sun's right in his face. The wind's kind of blowing a little bit. It was not an easy play, but he managed to correct his positioning and make the snag for out number 2. Now coming to the plate with 2 down and runners on the corners, the catcher, number 27, Cam Grieve. First pitch is going to come in low for ball 1. Grieve, along with Fitzgerald and DiMartino, among the players who played in last year's game. Grieve finished that game 0 for 2 with a walk and was caught stealing. Takes strike 1 there. Fitzgerald stands at first, Lane at third. Big opportunity for a potential double steal as Fitzgerald takes a big lead off first. And Engelman caught him between the bags. Jernigan checking too much on the runner, and he just lets him go. So Engelman with a nice pickoff move, but because of the runner at third, Jernigan was hesitant to throw down to second to try and catch Fitzgerald. They didn't want to run scoring while they were handling the rundown, but as a result, Fitzgerald got to take second basically for free. Swing and a miss there from Grieve for strike 2. And that one's fouled off the face mask. Grieve stays alive at 1 and 2. Chases it low, strike 3, and Melton applies the tag after juggling the catch for a brief second. That will be an inning-ending strikeout for Engelman. And the Brookline pitcher escapes the first inning with no score, gets out of the jam. So both teams threaten but do not score in the first inning. We are scoreless at the end of 1. In the live chat from Adam Polgreen, looking and sounding great. Thanks, Jesse. Watching from the airport in Charlotte. So great to have these broadcasts when I can't make the games. Go Warriors. Thank you so much for tuning in, Adam. Great to see you in the live chat as always, and I'm glad it's looking and sounding good for you. I know we've been dealing with some Wi-Fi issues here, so if people are still able to see this, you know, that makes my job a heck of a lot easier. Anthony Carey returns to the hill for Braintree. He will face Brookline's 5, 6, and 7 hitters, Engelman, Kessler, and Hart. And there's the throw down to second. We are ready to get this second inning underway. Leading off for Brookline, the pitcher, number 17, Charlie Engelman. Again, don't mind the 22 on the graphic at the bottom of the screen. That's his home jersey number. 17 is his away jersey number. I'll probably fix that in the graphics at some later point. First pitch from Carey, and good contact from Engelman, sailing out to center, but the center fielder tracks it. A good crack of the bat from Engelman. You know, that's the kind of out that makes you excited for the next time this kid comes up to the plate. Even if the feeling about the current at bat is disappointment after that flyout. Now at the plate for Brookline and taking ball one, the third baseman, number 11, Nate Kessler. And he takes strike one on that one. Kessler having a very productive year so far. I think he's already surpassed his totals from last season in just about every hitting statistical category. As that one skips in the dirt for ball two. 5 for 12 with a walk, 2 hit by pitches, 2 runs scored, and 3 RBI. And makes good contact here. That's over the second baseman and into center. Count that as the 6th hit of the year for Nate Kessler. Now coming up to the plate, the right fielder, number 9, Nico Hart. Hart got his first hit of the year on Wednesday at Weymouth, got an RBI single. Now he's hoping to do some more damage here as he takes ball one. And this one's going to be fouled off for strike one. Kessler on first with 1 out here in the top of the second. Kessler does not have any stolen bases. So far this season, he's been caught stealing once. This one's going to come in high and outside for ball two. And again, Grieve snagging these pitches well early in this one. Not giving Brookline any free bases on any passed balls. This one in the dirt, and again, well blocked by Grieve, but that will be ball three. And that one's going to come in high for ball four. That is Hart's 4th walk of the year. And runners now at first and second. Now up to the plate, the shortstop, number 2, Owen Hoffman. Hoffman, a batter also looking for his first hit of the year. He is 0 for 7 with a run scored so far as he takes ball one. Swing and a miss, strike one. Swung on and missed there, strike two. Good contact from Hoffman here into right. Right fielder's not going to get it, and it skipped past him. He was trying to dive for it, and he couldn't. In comes Kessler. Brookline on the board first off an RBI double from Owen Hoffman. How about that for a first hit of the season? The right fielder, like I said, I think he was trying to lost the ball in the sun or something. Either way, count that an RBI double for Owen Hoffman. Now at the plate, the designated hitter, number 8, Ben Doctoroff. First pitch is going to come in high for ball one. Doctoroff, as you can see so far this season, 2 for 6 with a double, 2 walks, and 2 runs scored. Now up with runners at second and third. And he fouls this one off for strike one. This is one of those situations where you're happy with almost any ball in play. You know, a grounder that leads to a fielder's choice at home, no. A pop out in the infield, no. You know, a line out to the outfield that makes it so the runners can't advance, no. But that's a grounder, diving snag over at second, lost track of the ball, flips it to first, and it's knocked out of the glove, and another runner is going to take off. 2 runs come in as the umpires are discussing here. Score that. It was a diving snag at second by Sam Garrity, and he tried to flip it over to Fitzgerald, who did catch it with his foot on the bag, but right as he caught it, Doctoroff ran into first, knocked it out of his glove. They are saying Doctoroff is out, but as for the runners, they're saying the play was not dead. And so both runs come in and do, in fact, count, I believe is what the call is. This is a very confusing kind of thing. I almost don't even know how to score it. I know we give Hart and Hoffman a run. I'm probably going to have to check Game Changer for that one. I feel like you got to give at least 1 RBI to Doctoroff and maybe score the second run as scoring on an error. I do not know. I'm at a bit of a loss here, but what I do know is it's 2 outs. The bases are now empty. Brookline has now got a 3-0 lead after Hart and Hoffman both score. And at the plate with now an 0-1 count is the center fielder, number 20, Harrison Siegel. Siegel fouls that one off for strike 2. And he swings and misses there, and he goes down on 3 pitches. And that is going to end the inning, but what an inning it was for Brookline. How about the bottom of the order getting it done here for the Warriors? The rally started with a 1-out single by Nate Kessler. Nico Hartdrill walked to put 2 runners on. And then Owen Hoffman hit one out to right, and while Hart was able to take care of a tough ball out and right, the Braintree right fielder had no such luck and probably lost the ball in the sun as he was trying to judge it, thinking about going for a diving catch, but because he wasn't sure and hesitated a bit, you know, he kind of stumbled and the ball skipped past him. And as a result, Hoffman not only reached safely, he got to go all the way to second as Kessler came in to score from second to put Brookline on the board. And then we had that weird hit by Doctoroff, a grounder that was snagged on a diving catch by the second baseman, but he kind of stumbled and lost the ball for a second, flipped it to first. It was barely snagged by Fitzgerald, but then it was knocked out of his glove as Doctoroff ran into first. Doctoroff was ruled out on the play, but the ball was ruled still live after it was knocked out of Fitzgerald's glove, and as a result of some heads-up base running, not only Nico Hart, but also Owen Hoffman came in to score, and so Brookline now up 3-0 as we enter the bottom of the second. Now leading off for Braintree, the third baseman, number 6, Sean O'Rourke. First pitch from Engelman comes in low for ball. That one inside for ball 2. This one outside for ball 3. Engelman's been having some struggles finding the zone. It hasn't come back to bite him so far, but he does have to throw strikes. And this one comes in low for a 4-pitch walk to O'Rourke. Now coming up to the plate, the right fielder, number 1, Tim Carney. Carney, one of the few players who played in the game for Braintree last year. Carney finished 1 for 3 with a walk, a run scored, and an RBI in that last game against Brookline, and here he takes outside ball 1. O'Rourke leading off from first. That one is in there for strike 1. This one curves in low, and Carney does not bite. 2-1. Swing and a miss there, strike 2. And hard contact here. That's going to go into left for a clean single. And Braintree's got 2 runners on to start the bottom of the second. 2 on and no out. And now up comes the second baseman, number 5, Sam Garrity. Shows bunt, pulls back, and takes strike 1. Shows bunt again. This time lays it down up the third base line. Chased down by Engelman, thrown to first. And not in time. A bunt single for Sam Garrity, as they had Sawada covering first. I'm not sure if that might have pulled him off the bag. It was going to be a close play either way. But now bases loaded, no outs. Avery Melton comes out to the mound to talk with Engelman. And now coming up is the shortstop, number 24, Max DeRoche. First pitch outside, ball 1. Chases it low, strike 1. In there, strike 2. And tips that one, stays alive at 1-2. And that one hit him, and I think, did that one hit him? Or did it, wait, did that hit his bat? That hit his bat as he was ducking from the pitch. It went off. Skies this one deep to left center. Siegel tracking it, makes the grab. Runners tag. And a run is going to come in on the sacrifice fly. O'Rourke scores. Braintree now on the board. And they're catching the runners or something. That was weird. As I was importing things on my scoreboard, runners were starting to take off. That was strange. But either way, the sac fly from DeRoche brings in O'Rourke. Now 1 out, runners on the corners, and we cycle around to the top of the order with the center fielder, number 23, Charlie DiMartino. Shows bunt, and it hits him in the head. And so that is going to reload the bases. And now out comes the coach to try and settle down his pitcher. You know, this is a situation where you can't let your control get away from you. You know, you have to keep throwing your pitches. You have to keep throwing strikes. Trust in your fielders behind you. Don't try and do everything yourself. Just don't let the ball get away from you. Bases reloaded with 1 out after the hit by pitch from DiMartino. Now coming up is the left fielder, number 8, Perry Lane. First pitch, sliced foul. Lane, his last time up, he hit into that weird play. Should have gone for a pop out to short, but was dropped at short. So then DiMartino is thrown out at second on what went as a fielder's choice. Obviously, in this scenario, it would be an infield fly if a similar thing happened. Did that hit him? Oh, no, another hit by pitch. And that's going to bring in a free run for Braintree. Carney trots home, and Braintree now within 1 run of Brookline, and the bases are still loaded with 1 out. And up comes the first baseman, number 14, Jack Fitzgerald. First pitch is fouled off for strike 1. Fitzgerald, his last time up, he got a single and stole second, but was left stranded. And of course, we know last time against Brookline, he did hit one over the fence, and Brookline definitely doesn't want that here with the bases loaded. That hit him! A third straight hit by pitch. And Braintree ties it up. Now Garrity comes in to score. And the bases remain loaded, and we're now tied at 3 apiece. Now coming up, the designated hitter, number 2, Dan Surrett. Surrett, his last time up, he flew out to right. That one comes inside, ball 1. And hard contact up the middle. That's going to get through the gap. 1 run's going to come in. Another runner coming in behind him. Braintree takes the 5-3 lead off the 2-run single from Surrett. DiMartino and Lane both score on that play. Now runners at first and second, And up comes the catcher, number 27, Cam Grieve. First pitch in there for strike one. And that one is in the dirt, ball one. This one's popped up. It's going to stay in the infield. And it's going to be caught by Jernigan. And that's going to be the second out of the inning. So that's a big out get to try and settle your pitcher down. 2 down now. Up comes the third baseman, number 6, Sean O'Rourke. Fouls this one off for a walk and later came in to score Braintree's first run. Braintree now up 5-3 with 2 down and runners at first and second. That one's going to miss outside, ball one. That one's going to miss as well, ball two. And that one's going to... And that one is in there for strike two. And this one's fouled off, and O'Rourke stays alive with a full count. Fitzgerald at second, Surrett at first, 2 down here in the bottom of the second. Full count to O'Rourke. And that one misses outside, and that's going to be ball four. Bases reloaded now. Up comes the right fielder, number 1, Tim Carney. First pitch, hard crack, gets past Kessler and out into left. 2 runs are going to come in as Kravitz chases it down and left. This might clear the bags, and it will. O'Rourke comes all the way around from first. It's a bases clearing double for Tim Carney. And that is going to be the end of the day for Charlie Engelman. Got out to a solid start in the first inning. Got himself out of a tough jam, but in the second inning, things just got out of control. Eight runs come in, and now taking over for Engelman will be number 23, Elias Brendel. Brendel has come in as a pinch hitter for Brookline a couple of times so far this season, now making his pitching debut in his first varsity season. A note from Adam Polgreen, the runner was out on the throw from Nate to Connor. Well, if it was from Nate, then it must have been back in the first inning, the infield single by DiMartino. Because in the bottom of in this inning, I should say, there's only been one infield hit, and that was the bunt single by Garrity. And that throw was from Engelman to Sawada. And so now Brendel finished with his warm-ups, and he takes to the hill to face the second baseman, number 5, Sam Garrity. First pitch high and inside, ball 1. Garrity, his last time up, he reached on that bunt single and later came in to score. And this one sliced off foul for strike 1. And an attempted pickoff at second is not going to be in time as Carney dives back to the bag safely. This one sliced foul for strike 2. And he golfs this one out to center. Siegel tracking it, and he's got the grab, and that will end the inning. So Brookline's offense gets things going and gets on the board in the top half of the second. But in the bottom half of the second, Braintree's offense got going and got going even more. At the end of 2, the score, the Braintree High Womps 8, the Brookline High Warriors 3. Due up in the top of the third for Brookline will be Sawada, Kravitz, and Jernigan. This time between innings, I'm going to take a very brief break off the mic, but I'll be right back on for the third inning. Don't go away. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan for the top of the third inning of this high school varsity baseball game between visiting Brookline and hosting Braintree. And we've got a new pitcher on the mound for Braintree, number 18, Aiden Manning. So he takes over for Kerry. And Sawada slices this one foul. So both pitchers are going to leave after around 2 innings of work. As Sawada hits a grounder over to first, fielded cleanly by Fitzgerald, and he's going to take it himself for out number 1. Now coming to the plate for Brookline, the left fielder, number 3, Ryan Kravitz. And that one is chopped foul for strike 1. Last time up, Kravitz hit a ground out to first. Still searching for his first hit of the year. That one curves outside for ball 1. And Kravitz hits a chopper over to third, fielded, thrown to first, and that's going to be out number 2. Two down here in the top of the third. Up comes the first baseman, number 12, Connor Jernigan. Jernigan went down on strikes his last time up. And check swing foul there for strike 1. And Jernigan gets good contact here out to left. If it stays fair, it does not. Jernigan launched that one, and I don't think the wind did him any favors on that one. I think it's ever so slightly blowing to that left side. Not sure if that caused it to go foul, but it definitely didn't help. 0-2, the count to Jernigan. And that one's in there for strike 3. That ends the top of the third inning. Brookline goes down in order. Going into the bottom of the third, the score still Braintree 8, Brookline 3. Brendel going to return to the mound. After taking over with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Due up for Braintree will be DeRoche, DiMartino, and Lane. The 9, 1, and 2 hitters. Leading off for Braintree here in the bottom of the third, the shortstop, number 24, Max DeRoche. First pitch comes in high for ball one. And another one high for ball two. DeRoche, his last time up, hit a sac fly to center field to drive in Braintree's first run as part of that explosive 8-run second inning as he takes high ball three. That one's down Broadway for strike one. That one's going to miss, ball four. A leadoff walk for DeRoche. Puts a runner at first as we cycle around to the top of the order for the center fielder, number 23, Charlie DiMartino. So far today, DiMartino has reached on an infield single and a hit by pitch. First pitch going to miss outside, and a throw back to first from Melton as DeRoche gets back in time. Now this one fouled off, and that'll be strike one. And he slices this one. It's going to stay in the infield. Jernigan tracking it, and he's got the catch for out number one. So now one out, runner at first. Lane so far has hit into a fielder's choice, and he's gotten an RBI hit by pitch. Shows bunt, pulls back, it's a ball, another throw back to first, and again DeRoche retreats safely. Another one comes in high, ball two. Runner taking off, and it's going to be fouled off by Lane for strike one. So DeRoche has to go back to first. Counts now 2-1 to Lane. And that's going to make it 3-1. Runner taking off, and again it's fouled off by Lane. So again, DeRoche has to go back, and now the count is full. DeRoche takes off. And it's ball 4. So the steal doesn't matter. Lane gets the free pass to first. Now coming up, first baseman, number 14, Jack Fitzgerald. And that's going to be a check swing foul for Fitzgerald for strike 1. Fitzgerald, 1 for 1 so far with a single, a steal, an RBI hit by pitch, and a run scored. Takes that one high and inside for ball 1. This one is popped sky high. Might be going out of play. Melton chasing, and it's out of play. So that will be strike 2. One and two the count. And that one skips in the dirt. Runner's going to take off for third. And he's going to reach safely. That'll be ball 2. Two and two, 1 out, runners at the corners. Runner takes off for second. Ball comes in outside, throw down to second. They do not get him, and the double steal is easily successful. Full count to Fitzgerald, and now Braintree leads 9-3. As DeRoche steals home, Lane steals second. 1 out, runner at second. And that comes in high for ball 4. Now coming to the plate, the designated hitter, number 2, Dan Surrett. Surrett 1 for 2 so far today with a flyout and a 2-run single and a run scored. Now up with runners at first and second and 1 out. Runner taking off for third. Pitch comes in high, gets away from the catcher, and Fitzgerald takes off. And so now runners at second and third. That one's going to come in high for ball 2. Excuse me. And that one's going to come in high for ball 3. Brookline continues to struggle finding the zone, and we got a timeout called. Visit to the mound from Coach O'Connor. 3-0 the count to Surrett out of the timeout. And makes contact, fielded at short by Hoffman, picks it up, quick throw, is not going to be in time. And another run is going to come in. Lane scores. Braintree now with 10 runs on the board. And runners on the corners. And now coming to the plate with runners on the corners and one down, the catcher, number 27, Cam Grieve. This one comes in high for ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. 1-1, the count to Grieve. Oh, but the runner does take second. I missed that for a second. Surrett steals second. And this one is a dribbler up the third base side, juggled by Kessler. And Grieve is going to reach. In comes Fitzgerald. 11-3 now the score. Now up to the plate, third baseman, number 6, Sean O'Rourke. First and second now with one down. Swing and a miss, strike 1. O'Rourke 0 for 0 so far today with 2 walks and 2 runs scored. All of them coming in the second inning. Another swing and a miss, strike 2. And Brendel steps off the rubber. And it looks like they're going to put in a pinch runner for Grieve now. Grieve seemed like he might have been holding his wrist, but I might have just been seeing things there. Either way, number 4, Matt Good, now running for Grieve. And that one is fouled off, and O'Rourke stays alive at 0-2. And that one just misses outside, ball 1. And that one coming high and outside for ball 2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Brendel secures his first varsity strikeout on that one. 2 down now with runners at first and second. And up comes the right fielder, number 1, Tim Carney. Carney 2 for 2 so far today with a double, a run scored, and 3 RBI. And he takes strike 1 there. Carney's base clearing double was his last at bat and was also the last batter faced for Engelman before Brendel took over, as that is strike 2. So Carney is going to be the last hitter that Brendel will be facing for the first time in this relief outing. This one skips low for ball 1. Good, the pinch runner at first. Surrett at second. 2 down here in the bottom of the third. Count is 1-2. Hard contact here, and that's through the gap into left. And the runners are going to hold. But Tim Carney secures his 3rd hit of the day with a single. So now the first batter to face Brendel for a second time today, the second baseman, number 5, Sam Garrity. This one comes in high, ball 1. And this one's going to be skied into shallow right. It's not a gimme. It's being tracked and caught by Keenan Sawada as if he was catching a punt over his shoulder like a wide receiver or something. Nice grab by the second baseman to end the inning. Braintree of 3. Braintree 11. Brookline 3. Due up for Brookline in the top of the 4th will be Brendel, Kessler, and Hart. Aiden Manning back on the mound for a second inning of relief work for Braintree after he took over in the 3rd. Interestingly enough, even though Anthony Carey was still the pitcher on record when Braintree took their lead, he will not get the win on the mound today, as a starting pitcher has to pitch at least 4 innings at the high school level before he qualifies for a pitching win. So it's just going to come down to, I think in this scenario what it says is that it becomes like the statistician's discretion of like either who pitched the most innings or who had the most impact or something like that. It's a little bit weird. But either way, coming to the plate, the pitcher, number 23, Elias Brendel. And Brendel with a hard crack at the bat over the shortstop and into left. Elias Brendel has the first base hit of his varsity career. So that, I want to say, I think was just the 3rd plate appearance this season for Elias Brendel, and he cracks a single into left center. Now at the plate, the 3rd baseman, number 11, Nate Kessler. First pitch curves outside, ball 1. That one is in there for strike 1. Kessler, his last time up, he hit a single and later came in to score as part of Brookline's 3-run rally back in the top of the 2nd. Kessler hits a grounder past the pitcher over to second, picked up by Garrity, thrown to first, just barely gets him. And that will be the first out.